Equivalent fractions, fractions and decimals, hundredths. In this lesson, you will learn that fractions can be shown in decimal form. How? You will convert decimals to fractions and fractions to decimals to the hundredths place. You know that fractions can be shown as part of a whole or part of a set and represent a value between 0 and 1. Each one of these fraction models shows the fraction 1/4. You also know that when you see the value 2.7, the 2 represents how many ones there are, or how many wholes there are when you're talking about a fraction. And the digit to the right of the decimal point stands for part of the whole, or tenths. Did you hear how I said that? Tenths. It sounds just like when we're talking about fractions. You know that this is how it would look on a number line. We have 2 ones, or 2 complete wholes, 1, 2. And then 7 of the 10 equal parts are shaded in of the next whole. Sometimes values continue on after the tenths place in a decimal. That's what we're going to talk about next. For this example, in the value 2.74, or 2 74 hundredths, we would add another place value of hundredths. Since the digits to the right of the decimal point stand for part of the whole, when we say hundredths, it's like splitting up that whole into 100 equal parts. Knowing this will help us write a number in a fraction. Let's look at the decimal 0.82, or 82 hundredths. Did you hear how that sounded like a fraction? I bet just by hearing that, you would know how to write the fraction. Since there is no number to the left of the decimal point, we do not have a complete whole. So, this decimal represents part of a whole, just like a fraction. If you had a number line split into 100 parts, 82 sections would be shaded in. 82 would be our numerator in the fraction, since that's the part that would be shaded, and 100 would be our denominator, the total number of parts. Let's see how this works another way. Here we have the fraction 29 hundredths. You know that fractions can be shown in decimal form, and you know about place value, so you can turn this fraction into a decimal. There are no complete wholes or ones in our fraction 29 hundredths. We know this because our numerator 29 is less than our denominator 100, so we can put a 0 in the ones place. And then we'd follow that with a decimal point. Then we would put the 2 to show how many tenths we have, and the number 9 to show how many hundredths there are. So our decimal point for the fraction 29 hundredths would be 0.29.